All right, so we're back on the AM show now, looking at stories making headlines in our newspapers. On the Daily Graphic this morning, it's boldly written here, Djidzor Mensah grilled by police for lying about HIV status. And then you have KKD denied bail again, also here. And then on top, pilots, motorists asked to be wary of severe harmattan, and short-term prospects of economy gloomy. That's according to the minority. And then if you look at the back page of the Daily Graphic, Koforidua prison inmates denied medical care, and Maira Edusa gets potable water. That's some good news for that community. But come now, let's look at Djidzor Mensah. I'm just wondering why anybody will do what she did. I'm still baffled. It happened quite some time ago, but I'm still baffled why someone would lie that I do have HIV when I know really I don't have.
In life, people do all sorts of things for all sorts of reasons. So unless, of course, we are able to
she has a very good reason to do that. Otherwise,
she ought to. If
otherwise,
not,
then I would rather think that she should go
somewhere
for
because
some mental checkup, because for someone to actually
mental checkup,
probably she may have. You'd be surprised that it could happen that she's got some mental problems. Otherwise, then it would be very, very absurd, weird to think that somebody will not have HIV/AIDS and decide that I want to say I have HIV/AIDS for all the stigmatization. Well,
I'm sure that's why the CID probably invited her yesterday for some interrogation. So they had some time with her. They spent some time where we are told from around 9 a.m. till about 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. or so. So obviously they have gathered quite some information. We are hopeful that information may be able to help them.
And help us also understand why that happened.
Why that thing happened.
What do we have in the Ghanaian Times?
But the update you gave about his lawyer, her lawyer saying that there's no way she's going to go for another test unless, of course, she's provoked by a court. That's interesting.
Well, that's law.
That's very interesting. Anyway. To the front page of the Ghanaian Times now, and we have AG to advise on KKD's rape case. Is also on the front page here. Maybe I could just show a bit of that to you. HIV/AIDS envoy quizzed by police. Also, President slams acts of terror, says they are un-Islamic. Well, I'm sure this ties in perfectly with what happened in France not too long ago. Minority Caucus predicts tougher times ahead. And I was watching the story by our parliamentary correspondent, Emmanuel Ante, who spoke of quite a number of things that the members of parliament, the minority members of parliament were actually saying. They are saying that we owe, I think every Ghanaian owes about 2,800 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
Every Ghanaian, whether you are born today, whether you die today, you owe.
Oh, it used to be around 1,003. Now it's increased to 2,800.
Wow. Can you pay now?
Interesting.
Today is the 9th day.
I have to go and borrow to do that.
Today is the 9th day of January.
Even the little baby at home also owes that kind of money.
So you have to pay for yourself, your husband. Okay, your husband will pay for you, then you pay for
your children.
Anyway, that's very interesting. To the back page now of the Ghanaian Times, and Northern Region Assemblies occupy land illegally, and also 1.18 million Ghana City water project inaugurated at Edusa. Yeah, okay, so those are the stories making the rounds on the front page.
The Weekend Sun, this morning, we have a very beautiful picture of the Minister of Gender, Oyelitha, and it says, "The truth about me and gay people." Oyelitha, I would love to read that story. I want to know. And TB Joshua will help me win world title. That's according to Aite Powers, the great boxer.
Anyway, I love him for his haircut.
Brazilian hair. Time for Ghana to go off aid. Soya. That's according to Soya. 25 ex-cons to sue government. And 100 years and still partying.
She's 100.
Incredible.
She's indeed blessed.
Very strong old lady.
Because nowadays it's quite, I don't know, but you hear of reports of a 23-year-old dying, a 30-year-old, 45, or 50. you know, and you go around and you see some of the things you see on the walls. Some how do I call them? Do I call them? I can't call them posters or anything. Those are things. Yeah. So and you see a very young gentleman or a very young lady, pretty lady, just dies. Obituary. Gone too soon. What a shock. Oh my God.
Christmas in prison. That's the back page of the Weekend Sun. Christmas in prison, and for the hopeless, it's a gloomy time. All of that. But I want to look at Nano Elisa's story, which is at page 12. She says that Nano Elisa was created for the Gender, Children and Social Protection Ministry. Her Kolibu upbringing, Wesley Girls Training, UG Law School, and Matters in Law degrees shaped her to a calling of advocacy and activism even before she ran the Human Rights Advocacy Center. This part of her history is a mere drop in the ocean of her achievements. An amazing track record for a lady still under 50. Before President Mahama. So where does she come in with the gay people? Before President Mahama appointed her to her ministerial post in 2013, she dedicated her life saving the world, legally speaking. Now that she has the reins of power, is she able to make right the systematic wrongs she so passionately detests? I think we'll go into that more.
But essentially, the story is just talking about she not discriminating against gay people.
Okay, coming close to gay people.
Exactly.
Maybe people think that she's got more to it.
People say she has a soft spots for gay people. Yeah, that's the report out there. But anyway,
is it a bad thing to do?
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that.
They're
anyway.
Also human beings.
Limping KKD in hospital to the front page of the Daily Guide now. So we are saying, according to the story here, that means KKD is limping. And he's in the hospital. He's been hospitalized. As to how severe it is and when or what actually brought about this limping, we can't tell. Also on the front page, there's $23 billion cash missing, says Minority. And I really wish I was there yesterday to hear some of the things they said. Anyway, Ace Girl arrested. That's also on the front page. You can see a picture, a very, very beautiful picture of Joyce Jijo Mensah, also on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper.
You know, I've always had my reservations about her when I see her on TV and I ask myself, so this lady is HIV/AIDS positive?
Yeah. Ace is no respecter of beauty.
Well,
doesn't respect you.
So now I don't know whether my suspicion has been confirmed or I don't know what it is. But let's just wait patiently till investigations are done and we know what exactly is the problem. But with the Chronicle this morning, Menchia got sacked. And you can see a picture of Otumfuo in his full regalia over there. And then down here... We are told it's
in relation to the
Ethiopia video.
The video that leaked.
Oh, so it's the guard who actually took the pictures and circulated it. Because cameras are not allowed into Otumfuo's palace. So I was also shocked to see those videos coming.
So probably that's why they were at Liberty and they were actually dancing.
The party was held in Menchia Palace. And Otumfuo himself dancing.
Oh, I'm telling you.
And the guard had the guts.
The whole Otumfuo. You are filming Otumfuo dancing in Ethiopia. You don't respect it. Anyway.
So, down here, we are paying dearly for economic mismanagement. That's according to the Minority. And you can see a picture of the Minority leader, Sechi Mensah Bonsu. And right on my left, Otumfuo will not die. That's according to a chief priest.
I'm not sure you. Okay, I'm sure you probably have heard it. You've heard of those prophecies. Usually, Reverend Owusu Bempah has been coming up with on the 31st Watch Night services. I think he's been doing it for some time now.
Yes.
And the last one he held, we are told he made quite a number of prophecies. Among them is the fact that a very prominent person in the Ashanti Kingdom may die this year.
And that's why this response is coming. So the chief priest is challenging Owusu Bempah.
But aside that particular one, there were other ones. So he mentioned other people who are likely to go this year.
Let's not be the ones to mention those names.
So maybe you could find
and
those
the back page of the Chronicle over there, you can see it boldly, and it says Income and Edusei dropped as Grant names final 23 squad.
Okay.
We have a picture of who? Maxwell Kunedu.
That's Maxwell Kunedu.
Okay. And Sundowns recall Somalia from Ghana side Kotoko. Mahama calls for support for stars ahead of AFCON 2015. Many more of
I think
that
I saw on one of the other pages President Mahama saying, "Let Brazil be your guide."
Of course. Oh, that's a wake-up call.
Yeah. Let Brazil be your guide. That's all.
Our president. It's a very good wake-up call. Let the Brazil be your guide.
If not, you cry.
No, nothing more, nothing less. I rest my case.
Anyway, to the General Telegraph newspaper now, and the front page has a picture of Hudu Mokhtari. It says FDA moves to stop unauthorized radio, TV advertising, and I think this is something that we ought to be looking at seriously, because they keep advertising certain products. One product is able to cater for about 30 sicknesses. It can do this, it can do that. Well, anyway, so they are saying the Food and Drugs Authority has initiated some moves to actually stop that particular one. Also, we have the picture of Madame Loretta Lamte, the church boss, who is saying that she will be speaking on allegations leveled against her next Tuesday.
Beautiful, Loretta.
Looking forward to that.
I hope
I'll actually be there to actually
to cover this.
Ask a few questions myself anyway.
Good.
Also, we have some stories here. TUC cautions President Mahama, and it says not to sign the pensions bill into law. Again, right views on President Mahama's performance in 2 years, and police angry over acquittal of Kumasi gangster. Anyway, to the back page now, and Inkum dropped as Grant releases final squad, and GBA to summon Bukum Bankum over assault cases. Anyway,
on today's newspaper is boldly there. Lawyer blast pastors. The story is in page 3. We'll be looking at it shortly. Indom carries FQ crusade to clergy, and when we go to page 3, let's look at the story over there. It says, lawyer blast pastors and victim support unit media and the police to shame the so-called men of God. He was particularly worried that religious abuse was fast becoming a phenomenon in many churches in the country, noting that some churches and prayer camps in the country perpetuated sexual and physical abuse against congregants, especially women and children, under the guise of healing and deliverance. And the lawyer making this comment is famous Maurice Ampao, founder and president of Legal Advocacy Foundation. I guess is in response to the pastor who impregnated mothers and their children. You remember that story?
As for these pastors, they nowadays, you can't even cite one instance. There are so many instances, you can't just cite one. You can't just, Charlie, I don't know how or why, but your people, others need to look up to. People, others take inspiration from. So if you are doing this, I don't know what I should be doing, because I come to church and you preach to me, you tell me what to do. You tell me, this is what the Bible says. The Bible says.
I say, don't do what I do.
Anyway, to the BNFT, and a big story here. Government to borrow 25.4 billion Ghana cedis in 6 months. Till the cut 2008, you know. So we are told government will be borrowing some additional 25 billion cedis. What for?
Government must do. Opposition for.
So that's the question many are asking. Now, it isn't a wrong thing, obviously, borrowing, but what for? What are we using the money for?
So we'll get the details. Probably anyway, it's for a good
so maybe
cause.
you can
and
get a copy of the...
The president has come out to say it's for developmental projects. So we want more development in our country.
Owe more,
so
don't worry.
Oh yeah, we'll pay.
You owe more.
Small. We'll get there.
Also on the front page, Labour Union calls for truce over workers' pensions, and Hamatan disrupts flight schedules. Yes, I didn't even think about that. Anyway, to the back page now, and Forestry Commission gets partner to develop a Chimota forest. Okay, that's some good news. And the Goldfields Foundation wins the Bob Award. Kranza Area Teachers Cooperative Credit Union makes strides. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so basically I think those are the major stories in the newspapers.
So we'll be looking at the big stories this morning pretty shortly on the AM Talk. We'll be discussing some of the stories that's making the stories. But I want to look at we're paying dearly for economic management. That's according to the minority. The story is at page 3 here, and you can see the minority leaders picture boldly pasted here. It says, after 6 years in office, Ghanaians are now being asked to pay dearly for the economic mismanagement and corruption of the ruling government, resulting in economic decline, debt, unsustainability, unemployment, and rising cost of living in the country. The minority members of parliament said this at a news conference they addressed in Accra yesterday to react to the budget statement presented to Parliament. But let's look at why they're saying that. Who read this? Osei Chairman Sabos, who read the statement, noted that the 2015 budget statement and economic policy of the ruling government failed to address the sufferings of the people. Why? He stated the 2015 budget provided no relief to the suffering of Ghanaians after 6 years of national democratic. Okay, so let's get the details. Indeed, the 2015 budget rather actually increased the suffering of Ghanaians by implementing some rather harsh tax measures and failing to address the fundamental issues of concern. He further lamented that in a bid to raise revenue to cover the mess they have created, the NDC government had resorted to taxing everything in sight.
Anyway,
then sharp decline in growth. He says the 2015 budget shows an economy in decline after 6 years in government. I'm looking at specifics to see that, okay, let's see here. According to him, real GDP growth had declined from 15% in 2011 and with the onset of oil production to a projected 3.9% in 2015, including oil. He indicated the budget is projecting non-oil growth of 2.7% in 2015. And he's also saying these facts are as revealing as they are disturbing. The government is claiming that the economy is recovering.
Very, very disturbing. You see,
I can go on and on and on.
Tying it in with the particular story on the front page of the BNFT I read earlier,
that
the government to borrow an additional 25.4 billion Ghana cedis. See, I just want to take some paragraphs here. Make sure you grab a copy of the BNFT. It has a detailed reportage on this particular one. You can read the full story there. But let me just read some aspects of this. It says, the Bank of Ghana has served notice of government's intention to borrow 25.42 billion Ghana cedis from the domestic market within the first 6 months of the year.
Hey.
Okay. The amount is twice the 12.72 billion Ghana cedis the government borrowed through the issuance of government securities in the same period last year. Okay, and it speaks of quite a number of things, and it goes down to say that in January alone, the government intends to borrow 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. Now, let me quickly.
What is it going to be used for? Is it stated
we still
in the
don't
paper?
know what is going to happen. That's what I'm saying. If you need the full details, do make sure to get a copy of the BNFT. But here it says this year, this year, government has budgeted 8 billion Ghana cedis as interest payments for domestic debts out of the total 9.5 billion Ghana cedis.
Wow. Interest.
8 billion as
billion.
interest. Anyway,
Governor?
welcome to Ghana. Yeah.
Oh, so we'll keep on talking until we finish paying our debts.
They talk, they will talk. So, and if you're not careful, we won't be able to pay our debts, and then we'll die. Then the next generation will come. Then
Our
come,
children will come and pay for it, and our children will come and continue.
Anyway.
So it's the AM Talk. I will be looking at stories making headlines.
Indeed.
We'll be back shortly with the AM Talk.
Sure.